Yo, 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 this is your boy Awesome as JL, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. And you are now watching the first episode of the SoundRig Podcast. And I am here with my lovely co-host.
Hey man, this is Quentin, CEO of SoundRig. Nice for you guys to join.
What's poppin'? Yeah, my name is Sunny. I'm COO, co-founder of SoundRig as well.
What's up, guys? I'm LCamz, and I'm owning
LCamz here, the artist from Tanzania, East Africa, Tanzania. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm LCamz from LCamz Studio and UK ambassador for SoundRig. What's up?
Okay.
And JL, I think we should just explain to the audience where Chinbees is and why you might be slightly delayed with the connection and stuff like that. He's calling all the way from Tanzania.
Okay. So we got Chinbees live calling in from Tanzania, man. Major shout out to Chinbees. Shout out to the homie LCamz holding it down for UK as a SoundRig ambassador, man. That's amazing, man. I'm just loving this melting pot, man. We are international already, man. This is just amazing. Great vibes, great energy. Hey, man. Hey, the first thing we're going to do, man, we're going to pop it off real fast. Let's go ahead and jump into Chinbees, man. What's good, Chinbees? Chinbees, my bad. Explain who you are to the people. Let the people know who you are, Chinbees, and what you do.
Chinbees, my name is Chinbees. I'm East African trap artist, East African artist. I can do different type of music. I can do dance music. I can do different type of music, but we do trap music. We do different music. I'm from West Africa. I am the king right here. I am do different stuffs. People loves it. So yeah, I have nothing to say more, bro.
I just want to add to that, man. When I was out in Tanzania and I met Chinbees, they were calling him the Trap King out there. They said that wow, loud and proud. Every time you step into a bar or club, they were like, yo, shout out Chinbees, Trap King Tanzania. So yeah, they love him out there.
Yeah.
He's a trap star, yeah? Trap star.
That's so fire, man. That's so interesting. That's so fire. Yo, Chinbees, another question I got for you, man. What inspired you to take a trap approach and mix it with the like Tanzania culture? Like, what inspired you to do that? Was there any artists you seen that you were influenced by to influence your style for you to come up with that unique approach to your music?
I was trying to listen to the different type of music. Trying to listen to the different type of artists from outside the country, from different countries. Then then you love what they do, from them.
Yeah,
so if you learn from them, you can create yours. And then you can do something through that. So music, I listen different type of. That's why I can do different type of music, because my mind is too flex, I like to do a lot of stuff. That's why people love me, because I'm not doing same type of music, because I have a lot of people like to show them like show them music. I have to show them big stuff that I can do, So I learn, then I create my stuffs. That's what I do. Yeah.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's dope that you have influences from, inside your country and outside your country as well. That's pretty dope, man. That's definitely amazing. Another question I got for you, Chinbees. How did you get started with music, man? And also, I would like for you to speak on the accessibility to music in Tanzania? Because us from outside of Tanzania, we want to get an insight, like we want to get a look in, on your culture and exactly what's going on. So how did you get into music, and how is the accessibility as far as doing music? Is it expensive? Is it hard to do? Is it something that kids normally do there? Like,
It's hard. It's hard. It's kind of hard to do it because it's they don't listen to that type of music like that in here, but they like what I do. I do different and I do it properly. That's why they can feel what I do, and I do it Swahili. I do it on my mother language. So they like it. Have international flavors, have international touches. But I mix with my language, different melodies. I put different vibes on my tune. That's why I can create a lot of fans because they love what I do, and but it's hard to there is we don't have a lot of artists who do like that in here, but at least I push that, and I can see a lot of behind me, like they like what I do, so I can see that I inspire a lot of people behind me to do this type of music, but you know I inspire them a lot because I can do different music, as I told you before. I do trap music, I do dance, so I can do Afro beats. I put my mind flex in order to get a lot of fans and to get far. Yeah.
okay.
Dale, I think we should. I want to hear from Leon LCamz.
That's exactly what I was about to get into. Now let's go ahead and take it on over to the UK. We got the good brother LCamz in the building. What is up, LCamz, man? And introduce yourself to the people. Let them know what it is you do and how you came up.
I'm a music producer / engineer / beat maker. Yeah, this is what I do. I'm a pro engineer, pro producer. I've been doing it for a long time, like over 20 years. I started off as a singer and supported some big artists along the way, but then realized that I prefer the production behind the scene kind of vibe, So I just mastered my skills on that, and here I am today, working with artists. UK ambassador for SoundRig, which is an awesome title and an honor. And this has been a long time coming. This has been something that I manifested a long time ago, being able to have the opportunity to bring artists through. So, and that's what we're doing, and it's absolutely amazing.
When I had that phone call with Leon after 11 years, and I said, Joe, do you remember that idea? And he was like, yeah, vaguely. And I was like, well, it's fucking happening. I was like, get them artists. I was like, how many you got now? And he was like, over 100 probably at least. I'm like, let's get them happening. And then he introduced us to Chin. And one thing I always wanted to ask you, Leon, is how was the experience when you went to Tanzania and you saw like Chin Bees, met him and saw the music scene? Like, tell us about the differences between, obviously there's going to be massive differences, but what's it like?
It was amazing. First of all, just want to say big up to Chin Bees because I hit him up on Instagram and he got straight back at me. He was like, yeah, let's do something, So I noticed straight away in Africa that artists are more accessible and more open to working with somebody that hasn't really done a lot, I mean, I've done a lot, but I wouldn't call myself like where I want to be, I've got a lot to do. So it was interesting to see the way that was. I mean, Chin Bees literally met me with open arms. Like we met in Zanzibar, went straight to the studio, and we had, I don't even know what time we finished that session. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. But it was, the experience in Tanzania was different. Obviously, I was traveling for networking purposes, and I just got a really good vibe. I wish I could have stayed longer, to be honest.
So you connected with him through Instagram? That's how you met him?
Yeah, I was in Tanzania, and I shouted out a few artists in Tanzania, and he got back to me. And
That's wild.
Yeah.
I
I just said I'm in town. Who wants to work? And he was like, "Yeah, I'm up for it. Let's go."
Man, that's the magic of the internet. Hey, man, it's so magical. We can connect from all different areas all over the world, man.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing. And have you guys so speak more about that first encounter with you guys, and what inspired you to reach out to him, LCamz? Like, was there anything specific you seen in Chimbees that you didn't see anywhere else from any other African artists?
Chimbees stood out for me because of what he does. He's a trap artist in Tanzania, which is different. So I already knew that, I can make trap beats for breakfast, So I was just like, look, I already got a bunch of beats for him already. Let me hit up this guy because he's the closest to what I do right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Everything else fell into place after that, innit?
It did, yeah. It literally just fell into place after that. He came. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to say the first thing that stood out to me when we saw Chimbees was the energy that he comes with. It's insane.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not difficult. It's not easy. It's very difficult to make music how you want to, in those nations. So he's done very well to come up where he is.
Another a question just slipped my mind. I was about to ask you, LCamz. Oh yeah, I was about to ask you. So LCamz, how long have you been doing this? And how did you get inspired to take this path, as far as with music and production? Was there anything early in your childhood that inspired you to do music, or did you maybe in your teens what was that first moment that kind of inspired you to jump into music fully?
You know what? I had such a passion for music. I started off as a DJ, a D&B DJ, and then that kind of went into D&B MCing. And then that went into garage. And then I was a DJ on multiple pirate garage radio stations. Then I went into MCing. I was always changing it because I always wanted more. And then I was like, I want more. And I just started singing. So I started MC singing over the track. People liked it. And I took that to singing. And then my brother jumped on board. And then we had this duo. And that was back in 2001, 2002. Yeah. And then it just that's when the duo was formed. We ran for about 2 years, supported Kanye, Mario Winers, Ja Rule, and cut a long story. Sorry? Oh, he's back. Yeah, so cut a long story short, yeah, that was pretty much it. From there was a problem with our production team that we were working with. We done an album with them. We had a manager, and basically the management and the production team fell out.
Oh, so in 2011 is when I met you, and I think I already knew back then. When I saw when we met, his studio had just been rented, or you bought it out or something, and he was just getting the speakers and everything put in, and we had a mock-up of the original app on the iPhone 4. Me and my friend Ben, and then we were going around showing him. We showed Leon, and he got it immediately. And the idea was there, but obviously we didn't know how we were going to distribute the music because blockchain did not exist. Web3 did not exist as we know it today. There were no NFTs, which would be the delivery vehicle for the music. And so last time I spoke to Leon was when he was abroad. I think, where were you? I can't remember now.
Oh, I think I was in Mexico.
Mexico,
No,
Belgium.
It was Jamaica. I think it was Jamaica.
No, you were Berlin to Jamaica. So the Berlin, I think you were. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, it was Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg, there you go. We got it. So anyway, spoke to him, and I was just like, "Yeah, you back on board?" And he was like, "Yeah, definitely." And what Leon said about the record, the radio stations that he worked on, Bedford has got one of the biggest pirate radio stations in the UK, as in Into Beats. Started off very small, and I'm pretty sure he was there at the very beginning of it. And we still have the contact. Well, he still has the contacts there, so we'll be looking to get SoundRig on the radio in Bedford in the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
definitely. That will definitely happen. I know the owner well. I know a lot of the DJs as well that are on that station. So we'll definitely we can have more than just one show. We can probably do one with each of the main DJs, which would be good.
Let's go, baby. I like that. I like that, man. I like that. Shout out to LCamz, man. He already coming through with the international plugs. That's what I love to hear, man. Yeah. Chin Bees. What's going on? One of the first videos I seen from you, Chin Bees, was a ball. I'm actually gonna bring that up. We're not gonna play the actual music. We're just gonna let it play so people can get a visual of how Ball looks, man. Ball looks absolutely amazing. This video was shot to perfection, man. This is amazing. I love it, man. Tell us a little bit about Ball and what inspired you to take this approach with the music video.
Yeah, I mean, well, the track's basically just about him getting what he wants, no matter what kind of thing. He's gonna ball till he stops, you know, like I would really prefer him to explain it properly because obviously it's all in Swahili. I did get it to translate it for me. I read through it, obviously. But yeah, I think the inspiration was just, he just wanted to do kind of like a free spirit type video. Like he's just balling, doing what he wants to do. He's living his life. I think he was in Kenya when he shot this. This is Kenya. Yeah. Tasty lady, as you can see.
I just want to jump in and say one thing about this video that really strikes me is like the quality. It is top notch. I mean, it looks beautiful, and actually some of the really cool stuff for his tunes is the behind the scenes stuff and the additional kind of photography from the shoot, which was really cool. But I just love it. Like, I mean, dude, I think you could see this on, you know, the TV playing. It's so sick.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a serious budget that's gone into this. You know, like I know he's very he's invested a lot into his music and his career, so it's like definitely coming through with this. But you know, you told me a funny story about the track itself. So the track Ball, what is in the actual tunes is an official remix, right? But you saying something about the quality of it coming out almost as good or better than the original?
Yeah. So I did a remix to this track for SoundRig, reproduced it completely, and Chimbees was confused when he heard it because he was like, "This should have been the one that went out first." He was like, "I'm really confused, Leo, man. I don't know what to. It's so hard. This one should have gone out first." I was like, "Bro, well, look, it's gonna be released on SoundRig, so we're good." And you know what? We were actually thinking about doing another music video for that as well. Just having a completely different video, same track, just a remix, everything. But I don't think we would have had enough time, to be honest.
No, I mean, this is an excellent entry into the SoundRig universe with this, as what we've done anyway. And I'm not going to say all the exclusive content that come with it. People will know when the release happens, but there's a ton of stuff that you won't see anywhere else in life. Basically, it's not going to be on any social media. It's not going to be on any editorials or anything like that. It's completely exclusive, only for the fans of Chin Bees, new and what's to come as well. So I'm expecting a lot of new people to fall in love with Chin actually through this.
I'm sure they will, man. When you get to know Chin Bees, man, he's a unique individual.
And I mean, dude, hey, even if you do film a music video, that could be ammo for the next tunes he does.
Yeah,
you can add that in. Yeah. Extra content, man. But
I think what's really awesome is that he's being a pioneer. That he's actually gone with you, Leon, trusted you, and felt, you know, like he loves the concept of it, and he's one of the first artists, not just in Africa, but the world, to be doing this. Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm thinking, because I don't think there's any other Tanzanian artist that's selling their music through a blockchain. Like, it could be the first. He could be the first. I don't even know. We do need to research this actually, because he could be the first African artist. I think maybe Akon. Did he do an NFT?
Akon created his own blockchain almost. Yeah, he's trying to make like a crypto city in his home country. So I don't know if he's done any music on the blockchain, to be honest, but I think Chinbees may be the first artist from Tanzania in the world ever to be on the blockchain with the music NFT.
That's cool. Like, yeah, we need to use that.
And you could even say probably the first trap star, the trap artist as well.
Yes. Like, seriously.
He'll at least for sure be the first trap king. The first trap king on the blockchain.
Yes, first trap king of Tanzania on the blockchain.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and that was actually one of my next questions I was going to ask, right? Because it's great to have you guys in the room, man, internationally. I definitely want to put focus on that because we got people in the room that are watching and are becoming a part of Web3, you know, just like we are. And so I just wanted to see you guys' perspective on this opportunity, which is Web 3.0. And I want to see what you guys thought about it. And how did you, LCamz, how did you first come in touch with Web 3.0? Like, was it a how was your encounter? How did you first get into the blockchain and Web 3.0 in general?
Well, it was actually a project that me and my brother were doing, and it was an NFT based project. We were going to release tracks with the NFT, so an NFT would be allocated to a 30-second skit of a track. So basically, the way it worked was an NFT would be sold, and you'd be allocated a piece of a track. And if that track generated any royalties, the people that own those NFTs would receive royalties. So that was my introduction to Web3. Even though that didn't work out, we hit so many walls. We didn't have a big enough team. We didn't have enough money really to put into it. Or we did, but we weren't prepared to do it because we didn't understand it enough. We didn't know enough. And basically it was a learning curve. And when I say it was a blessing in disguise, it was only like 3 or 4 weeks after that project fell through that Sonny got in touch with me, and I was just like, okay, well now I'm experienced, you know. And I was like, okay, and to be honest, the whole SoundRig project sounded better, a lot better, and I was just like, okay, this is probably why I went through this whole kind of procedure, just to understand Web3 and understand how it all works. And now I'm involved in a project that's doing brilliantly, and I can see this being something like astronomically big, you know.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that you done, and I said that journey was not wasted. That experience was not wasted. It's all part of it.
We've all been through these type of events where, you know, we've all had growing pains where, you know, we get bruised, but you know, you heal and you're better for it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I agree.
You built a community as well, didn't you?
Sorry.
You built a community over there a little bit as well.
Yeah, we had a community, everything. It was all going. Like, cut a long story short, our we got hacked, and our NFTs got stolen and they got dumped, and then it kind of just it was trying to keep the community happy on Discord and explaining what was going on, and then we tried to recreate a whole nother collection and reallocate the songs to that, and then the rarities weren't showing when we did that, but they were on the old one. It was just everything we tried. I mean, I'm not a quitter, but we just kept going and going and going. But everything we tried, there was another wall that was bigger than the one before it. And at some stage, we were like, you know what? Maybe it's time to let go. And then my brother did, and I was running it on my own, and I was getting even more stressed out because I didn't have my brother with me. I think my brother just kind of accepted it before I did.
Dude, I was going to say, nobody ever hears this shit, right? They only ever see the success stories of the sellout NFTs, projects, and everything like that. But no one sees what the shit that people have to go through to get there, and the reasons why projects don't end up launching. Because what you'll find is they just like disappear, they fizzle out, and nobody hears from the owners, but they don't get to hear that. And so anyone who's out there who wants to create their own NFT project, like you gotta have some thick skin, man, and just be ready to battle it out. Seriously,
you gotta know what you're doing. You can't go in with two men. Two guys aren't enough to run an NFT project. It's just you're set up to fail.
You also can't expect everything to go right because
no,
for the most part it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the real talk.
Well, I mean, this is why I waited for 11 years, right? Because the first time we tried to do it, it was the same thing. Two guys trying to take on the whole fucking world with like this basic tech and ideas, and it was just like not going anywhere. So the smart thing to do back then was to not let go of the idea, not forget about it, and just wait for the right opportunity. 11 years is a long time to wait, man, but we got there. And then now everything started falling into place. Welcome back, Chin.
Yo, Chin, you back?
He's there in spirit, I think.
Yeah.
Tanzanian Wi-Fi. Listen, I'm being real with you, right? It's not good.
Yeah.
Tanzanian Wi-Fi is not good.
Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good. We're gonna roll with the bumps and the bruises, man. We're gonna roll with it. Yeah, man. And so LCamz, tell me a little about so you just broke down the whole Web3 thing, how you got into it. Let's touch on a little bit more about the community, like your community and how they're receiving Web 3.0. Like your community in sense of the music artists. How are the music artists feeling out there about, you know, Web 3.0 being a viable opportunity for them to expand and grow their audience?
I think for the most part, artists are excited about Web 3.0, but a lot of them don't understand it. That's the thing at the moment. And also, I think a lot of artists are kind of like fed up because they've tried so many different things and nothing seems to work to get them where they need to get. And also, when they do get a deal, they're normally being taken for a large percent, which isn't fair. So then, you know, there's lots of things going on. I think at the moment they're just tired. So I'm really excited just to get some artists like doing some things on SoundRig, selling some NFTs. So my other artists can then see that and I can say, look, see, it's working. Are you guys ready? You know, it's that kind of vibe at the moment. People are excited, but they want to see more.
Yeah, we've heard that from a couple people. It's like we need a proof of concept. So that's the same situation with a lot of our ambassadors. Is they have a bunch of people interested, but they just want to see how it goes first.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yes, I think once we get these tunes out, I mean, we got a real solid, you know, lineup, and Chin B's is his tunes is amazing. And I think once we get these out, we're gonna see, you know, a big uptick in traffic because people will be like, "Whoa, this is an opportunity of a lifetime kind of thing."
Yeah, sure.
That's why we can't say thank you enough, really, to Leon, because really, without Leon and Chin B's and the other two artists, we wouldn't have anyone from the real world. Let's say the people, real living artists, making music, trying to get out there, up and coming people. Yeah. We wouldn't. We just wouldn't have anyone from the real world really on there. So it's amazing what you've done, Leon, to get the three artists, get their projects done, educate them on Web3, help them set up their Cardano wallet. It's like everything literally has been done. That's why this network is so important, I think, because without the agent managers that are there to onboard the artists who don't really know about crypto, without them, I don't think it would be possible because not everyone's going to watch a video. No one can be motivated by a video, right? So you can watch as many tutorials as you want, but if you don't have someone on your back saying, come on, you want to get on there, you want to do this, right? It wouldn't work.
I feel like I'm in a good position for it as well, though, you know, because I had an artist come in the other day from London, and the first thing he asked me when we were talking was, do you have any kind of distribution or anything going on? I was like, yeah, there's this cool thing called SoundRig NFTs, and I told them about it, and their eyes lit up. They were like, okay, I haven't heard this before. So, you know, and I've got clients coming in all the time. So as soon as we get this rolling, and, you know, there's going to be plenty more artists coming through, you know, because they're looking for this right now.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, like, That is and you spoke to it. The main problem has been onboarding people, so that we can eventually get to that mass adoption scale. And onboarding is very important. That's why we got companies like SoundRig to come along and be that segue to introducing people into Web 3.0 in a more user-friendly manner. Because that's what's going on right now, man. When you research NFTs, you see all these marketplaces, you see all these blockchains. You got to figure out what a blockchain is, you got to figure out what the marketplace is, you got to have different wallets. It's overloading the user, man. And I feel like the way that SoundRig is changing the game is that they're making it approachable and user friendly. And that's what we need more of within the space. I think that's going to help push it a whole lot better.
Absolutely.
I mean,
go on, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, when we started the company, that was one of the first things is because I did a lot of interviewing of musicians who were curious or who had just started, and that was one of the first things, like almost exactly how you just said it. It was like, man, this was like overwhelming, the amount of knowledge you need to get started, even just to make your NFT. There's a lot of coding and stuff. And I mean, yeah, we got in the works. We got a lot of things to just make it. Anyone can get an NFT collection going. And I mean, we're seeing that a lot more, but yeah, that was one of the main things is this has to be extremely user friendly. So people who don't know anything about crypto can easily buy and listen to their music.
Yeah, it's key.
Yeah, that's definitely key, man. That's definitely key. It's so funny, man. And I'm gonna tell a story real quick. I remember back when Bitcoin was like, man, it was some extremely low number, like a couple dollars, like literally. And I remember, and I'm really taking myself back to how I was overwhelmed at the time, right? Like I said, Bitcoin was about $5 or $10, and I remember my music engineer. It's funny. It's actually a music story. My music engineer was telling me we were actually recording, right? And I was recording an album. He said, "Man, you need to get on this thing called Bitcoin, man. This, and that." And back then, right? It was way harder to set up. Like you had to, because you know how some coins don't have the appropriate marketplace. So you might have to swap a coin here and then go to another marketplace here. And so he was explaining the whole thing to me, and I was like, man, bro, that is too much. Like I remember
I was the same.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's too much. And then the next thing you know, a couple months later, it jumps to like $10,000, $20,000. I'm like, oh, I should have just did that. You know what I mean? It's so funny, man. But yeah, and that's why they need people like us to onboard people in a more easier manner. And nowadays it's way more easier to explain too. And you know, we got YouTube content out there now. You can Google and research certain stuff. But like I said, they do need people like us to segue, man, and make that onboarding process a little more easier.
Yeah, that's why I took it upon myself as like to do the operations side, because I had the contact with Leon and other musicians and producers and stuff. So I was like, I might, because I obviously understand it. So I'd be like, okay, I will teach the agent managers. That's what we're calling them, because first and foremost, they're talent scouts. So they're like agents bringing artists onto SoundRig, and they're managers in the sense that they help the artists manage their tunes and get their content together and manage their whole crypto journey, let's say. So the agent managers. So the idea is that I would teach the agent managers. I've taught Leon. Now Leon knows exactly what to do. So now he would find other agent managers in different UK cities, for example, Manchester, huge music scene, probably one of the biggest in the UK outside of London. And then you got like other cities in the UK, other places he's been around the world. He knows who knows the talent, right? So he can then train other people to become agent managers. Now we're creating opportunities all around the world, and also at the same time onboarding people into crypto, because this is the technology of the future, and they're not going to be teaching this in schools. I'm sorry, but and if people don't get on this now, then they're going to fall behind later. So we are now actually educating people and providing opportunities all at the same time. And it's just like people connecting with each other. It's quite holistic. I think that's the word.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. Quentin actually just sent me this article right here. So the next topic we're going to jump on, let's talk about streaming, man. Let's talk about music streaming sites and the issues, man, that artists are suffering from when it comes to streaming, music streaming. I know me personally, right? I'm actually going to bring my personal story in it with music streaming websites, Web 2.0 streaming sites. Man, I'm going to tell you like this, man. As far as what the artist is earning on these music streaming sites, it is like dismal, man. Like it's pretty much non-existent, man. Like it's to the point where I'm literally paying out more money than the amount I get paid for streams. And you know, that raised a huge concern, man, for artists, man. So because if artists are to make a living, you know, being music artists and, you know, putting out this music, it has to be profitable, man. It has to be profitable. We're not gonna be able to make a living from it. Like, what do you guys think about this? LCamz and Chin B's, like, what do y'all think about music streaming services? And also share some of your experiences with music streaming services as well.
Man, I've never been excited about the streaming services ever. I think you get like $200 per million plays or something like that, right? Something like that. It's insane. I'm good with numbers. Like, you know, like straight away I could see the numbers weren't adding up, and I've never really advised anyone to do that. But there hasn't really been any other options for an unsigned artist to come out. I mean, they want people to hear their music. Great, they've got these streaming platforms, so you can do that. But what they're being paid is shocking. It's shocking.
I think if you're bringing streaming on, if you bring in a model that's already broken, right, from the Web 2 area or scene, let's say, and bring it onto Web 3, surely it's going to be the same situation. I mean, I'm not sure if that's even going to work, but streaming in itself is only made for the streaming companies. It's definitely not made for artists, especially if they're upcoming artists or undiscovered talent. Someone trying to break out. It's almost impossible for them to get 1 million streams in a year, let alone in 5 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we have some numbers actually in our white paper, but like for instance on Spotify, for every, also you have to hit a certain kind of level before you get monetized. But once you're monetized, you get 0.0034 cents per stream on Spotify. So I mean, that's like 1,200 listens for $1 or something.
Yeah, and then another thing too, like there's different classifications of different types of streams for Spotify as well. Like some of these plays are called premium plays, right? And so the premium pays you get paid premium depending on what type of account people have. You know what I mean? So they weigh that differently versus a free account too as well. So that's another thing that I was like kind of confused about, man. I'm like, well, a listen is a listen. You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna create these different types of listeners and say this is premium and this is not? So you're gonna get paid lower for this type of stream versus this stream. You know what I mean? So that's another thing too as well, man. It's just too many semantics at play. These streams are crazy, man. Right now it says updated as of 2022. Right here it says as for how much Spotify pays per stream, they pay roughly 0.04 per 10 streams. So 1,000 streams would be around $4, and 100,000 streams would be $400. So you know what I mean? You know, you're not too far off with these numbers, man. 400 times 10, and that's what you're getting paid, 1 million streams, man. So
the question begs that if we got artists upcoming in like developing countries like Africa, South America, Indian subcontinent, wherever, right? How would they even compete? Like, what platforms have they been given to get their music out there? It doesn't exist, as far as I know, unless you can correct me. I don't know. But as far as we looked, we searched, and there wasn't anything out there.
So there's no streaming platforms in Africa, did you say?
No, what I'm saying is, yeah. So how do artists in a place like Africa, where Tanzania, where Chimbees is from, are they able to get high streaming numbers?
Yeah, I mean, Chimbees streaming listeners, his monthly streaming listeners are quite high on Spotify.
Okay, cool. So some people break through, right? How are they in comparison to Western artists, let's say, or artists from America or UK?
Well, to be honest, like Chimbees is quite a big artist out there in Africa right now, and I believe he's going to be a lot bigger. But you got to think, Africa's massive,
yeah,
compared to everywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, Tanzania in itself is it takes about 9 hours to get from one side to the other, and England takes what, 8 hours?
Yeah.
So Tanzania in itself is bigger than England.
Yeah.
You know.
As a Canadian, I gotta say I'm not that impressed because we also have a lot of. But I know for Europeans, yeah, like distances like that are pretty crazy.
Yeah, of course. I know it's kind of Canadian. Canada's a different level, but
yeah,
we live on a funny island here, man.
yeah. Man. For us, this 9-hour trip is like going to the next big city.
I suppose this also gives an indication as to the power of the talent and the business opportunity that's in Africa. If you want to look at it that way,
when I look at the Tanzanian artists, just the Tanzanian artists, they all seem to be, they have like millions of views and followers and stuff like that. So they definitely have their own way of distributing their music.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I took the time to pull up the chart, guys. So we got the chart, man. We got the chart. So let's look at the logistics of these streams, man. This is actually categorized. I like how they categorize this. So we got the paper stream over here to the left, and to the right is how many streams you need to get $1,000. So for Tidal, you would need 76,000 streams to get $1,000. Apple Music, you would need 100,000 to get $1,000. Amazon Music, you would have to get 250,000. Spotify, you have to get 303,000. YouTube Music, you would have to get 125,000. Pandora, you have to get 769,000. And finally, last but not least, Deezer, you would have to get 156,000. And I think that really leads into the next thing I was wanted to talk about and kind of touch base on what I think it was Sonny saying, like, hey, like what does it take to be the next Chimbees, and get a good number of streams to where you can, make some decent amount of money. You know what I mean? And like, how accessible is that for artists starting out? Like, so if you're an artist starting out in Tanzania, you're not going to be getting 303,000 streams from the beginning. And what do you have to do to even get that? You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty crazy. Chimbees, that's really a question for you. Like, how was it getting to the point that you got now, like as far as the streams, and how was the process with that? Like, did you start out with a lot of streams, or did you start out in the middle? Like, how was it starting out? He may not be able to hear us, but okay, so we'll go to LCamz. LCamz, like, as far as the artists and different artists that you work with, and with your music too as well, are you seeing a lot of people go over these numbers, like in the UK? Is this something normal to get like 100,000 streams?
Unsigned artists, no, definitely not. But occasionally you'll get some that get close to these numbers.
Unless they go viral or something, right?
Yeah. I think there's probably one artist that I've worked with that's been hitting like 1 million streams with the odd track here and there on Spotify. But no, these numbers are not realistic for unsigned artists. Definitely not. This is something that you would build up towards. You probably have a management and a marketing team, and you know, or whatnot.
But you only have a budget of $1,000. Remind you of that.
Oh,
yeah, no, because I mean, I'm saying you're hitting these numbers, and all you're getting rewarded is $1,000. So
yeah,
I mean, it's like,
yeah, exactly.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work you got to put in just to get those numbers. It's just not adding up.
Yeah, you're not even gonna be able to pay for. That's not even enough for a tour trip, a tour bus ride. Like you can't even go to the next state over.
Fucking rigged, I'm telling you.
It's not even enough to take the public transit for a tour.
No.
It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy, and that's why I'm so happy about Web3, man, and what's going on with Web3. Another thing I'll actually bring up as a topic as well, man, and this is actually music related too. In a way, I'm going to segment into also Apple just announced that they will allow NFTs to be sold on their Apple marketplace.
I heard this. Yeah, they want a 30% cut of everything.
30, yep, and they want 30% cut.
Wow.
And so that leads me to my next question, right? Because I foresee something going on with music, man. It's only a matter of time before Apple jumps on it and say, hey, we can do music NFTs, right? And they're taking that 30% cut. And my question I'm asking here, is this Apple Music happening all over again if they let let music artists release music NFTs?
I think so. I think at the moment, I think they're trying to like keep people away by saying that they were going to charge 30%. So any project that doesn't want to give that away will not go there. So they don't really have to deal with anyone. But when they see, I think they're looking at other people doing it. So they left the door open for themselves to like get into it later, right? And as soon as they see they can kick off, well, you know how many people use iPhones, right, around the world. You know where Apple Music is. So if they can promise, say to the artist, look, we've got tens of millions, hundreds of millions of users around the world. If they take a 30% chunk of that, but they're selling these music NFTs at $10, let's say, the artist is still getting $7. Times that by 100 million or 500 million, whatever the potential is, people will still go for it. So they're a juggernaut that can't be ignored, unfortunately. But I think at the moment they're putting people off from going there, which probably works in the favor of the smaller upcoming platforms that can actually prove and get the traction and get the following that could even compete with Apple later. Because when they come, but if they want to do it, they're going to do it, and there's nothing that anyone can stop them with, to be honest. That's just how I feel. How do you guys feel?
I think you're right.
I just want to add in, yeah, they're a titan. You can't deny it, but we've also seen, a lot of big celebrities jump on ship with NFTs and music NFTs, and they haven't done well. And it's because the community that's here sees through it. It's a cash grab for a lot of these people. And they're going with their name to assume that they'll make a ton of money. I mean, Chris Brown, his NFTs, to be real, were actually really good, but he didn't sell out. He didn't nearly sell out. And it's really, I think it's the writing's on the wall. The music industry is going to adapt, and it's just, will they adapt in a way that people want? Because if it's just the music industry coming to Web3, what's the difference? What are they changing? And I think that's like what we're trying to do, is change things. So I mean, yeah, like a 30% cut. I mean, that's pretty much how Apple operates. If you get an app on their store, they want 30% of revenue from your app. And yeah, I mean, but 30% is steep.
Just a bit.
Yeah, like as far as what I foresee, right? And I know a lot of people look at it and be like, oh, it's Apple's one of the biggest companies in the world. Amazon's one of the biggest companies in the world. And people kind of look at it and say, well, they're massive giants. Of course, they're going to be successful here with the NFT play and all this type of stuff. But really, essentially, when I look at it, right, and in terms of how I think, right, if I'm going to just this me personally, right, if I were to buy an NFT, like I wouldn't go to the place that adopted them last. Like I would go to the OGs, the original of what's creating, an NFT. Like I wouldn't wait till Microsoft comes out with an NFT and say, oh, I'm gonna get a Microsoft NFT. Now, of course, you're gonna have people do that, right? You're gonna have people give into that. And of course, that's actually gonna help towards mass adoption. But as far as these mega corporations and companies trying to adopt NFT, I don't think it's going to work out. It's not going to work out because it's almost like Walmart, right? You remember when Walmart was one of the biggest, in America, that is, Walmart is one of the biggest brick and mortar stores, right? And now they're trying to make this transition into being a web 2.0 marketplace, right? And it's like, okay, guys, you guys were a big brick and mortar. And it's almost like every time they try to adapt, they get less and less percentage as they try to adapt to the next thing until eventually they're just going to get phased out. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I'm seeing right here with this play. And that's my honest opinion. I think this is a play for Apple to not get left out of the conversation rather than actually evolving and actually taking over the space. They're basically saying, hey, guys, we're okay with coming in last on this one, but we got to be in the conversation.
That's exactly what I meant. Is like they've left the door open for themselves to get involved, and they don't care in the adoption cycle. Right? They're gonna get the laggards, right? But most of their users are that. They're the people that like the shiny technology, maybe, but they're not necessarily involved in the whole crypto game. In the sense of Web3, they're actually way behind the curve. But because they're loyal Apple users, they'll get involved with it when Apple does. So they will wait for Apple to get involved, and then they'll be like, oh, if Apple's doing it, I think it might be safe, so I'll do it. And then that's it. And then they'll just get involved in NFTs that way. They're definitely not early adopters.
Yeah, as I think it was JL who said, I think, this is, there's two sides to the coin. I think this is actually really good because firstly, it legitimizes, what we all have known for like a year now is that, music is the next big thing in crypto. You have this, multi-billion-dollar company saying, we don't want to be left out. And I do think that is what it is. But, it doesn't mean that they're going to do it great. But they also, as, you're saying, they'll help mass adoption because even if the stuff that goes on to Apple sucks, if there's another product, SoundRig isn't the only NFT, music NFT platform. But if, there's other options that are better, it might be the stepping stone to get people into the better places for music. So, maybe, it could be a really good, but, it could also maybe it will end up being kind of like Facebook's Meta, which has totally tanked. And they had a $1.5 billion budget. I mean, I think the last report I saw, it had 35 active users or something crazy like that.
Man, that's so insane. Yeah, you're exactly right, man. You're exactly right. Mirror the meta play. The meta play is funny. That's hilarious. Like, it's so funny, right? Because the thing about this play too, and it's really my last time speaking on it, but the thing with this play is actually anti-crypto. Like it's so anti-crypto because they're charging the creators 30% fee. You know what I mean? And that's the whole purpose of crypto, to make sure people get paid the actual worth, especially artists and creators, you know what I mean? And so it's like 30%. And then you look at Apple and then you look at Bitcoin or you look at Ethereum, you're like, okay, they're not charging me 30% to, post what my NFTs, you know what I mean? So That's the thing about it. It's kind of funny. It's very anti, and it screams last generation capitalism. Like it's such a capitalist move. It's like the thing that crypto people hate the most. Like, you know what I mean? And of course, crypto people are here. We're here to make money too. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. But you know, this right here is just very anti for the consumer, you know, and the creator.
Well, it's completely the opposite to being decentralized, isn't it? So that's one of the main tenets of crypto Web3,
Exactly.
is decentralization, and you couldn't get more centralized than Apple Corp. Yeah, I think. I mean, as far as news is concerned, I think the streaming thing is probably the loudest thing that's happening in music right now. But yeah, we covered that.
Yeah, man. I think we can actually go ahead and wrap it up. I think we can go ahead and wrap up the interview. Definitely. Before we get out of here, the one of the things I like to do, you know, with interviews is, you know, give you guys a chance to shout somebody out, man. LCamz, do you have any shout outs before we wrap everything up?
Oh man, I mean, I'm gonna shout out all my artists, I guess, or as many as I can remember. The guys, we've got a few guys that are coming out soon. We've got 3 releases. Shout out Chimbees, Rano, and T Rorks. The first artist is from LCamz Studio that will be released on the SoundRig platform. There's so many more artists I want to shout out. Major, Kai, Lil Raz, that are coming through, Fritz, A Dotted Face. The list goes on and on and on. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting talent. So yeah. And all the unsigned artists, any unsigned artists in the UK, if you want to get released on SoundRig, hit me up at LCamz Studio.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to the UK, man.
Quinton, who do you want to shout out?
You guys, man, you're all stars. Love you all.
Love
you guys and everyone who's helped us get here, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
I was just going to go over the massive list quickly, but that was a better way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone here, everyone who supported us in the music community that's growing in Web3, that keeps me motivated every day. I mean, all I need to do is just go join a Twitter space or talk to anyone who's in this kind of space, and everyone's on the same page, and it's really motivating. So yeah, thank you to everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what I said earlier. It's down to the artists who are trusting us with their music and allowing us to, you know, test this out with their new unreleased music and stuff like that and content. And we wouldn't have done it without you guys. So Leon, Chin Bees, and everyone else, salute to you definitely for that. And then, yeah, and for everyone who's actually helped us with the platform as well, because this is the first... our first podcast even. Sorry, it's the first podcast. So there's a lot to get out, and we can't say thank you to everyone. So I'm just going to say respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Major shout out to everyone, man. But major shout out to Chin Bees, man. Major shout out to LCamz, our SoundRig ambassador, one of the SoundRig ambassadors. Major shout out to SoundRig, man. Shout out to my co-hosts, Quentin and Sonny. It was amazing, man. This was a great first podcast. LCamz and Chin Bees was the perfect first guest that we could get. You know what I mean? Doesn't get much better than that. And with that being said, this is your boy Awesome as JL, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse, and we are signing off.
Peace.